Welcome to Railfreight's TV Express, part of our contribution to the Staffling 87 exhibition. Railfreight's TV Express, where all the news is your news. Wendy.
Railfreight is planning to invest in up to 100 new locomotives. The design will include recent technical breakthroughs which allow much heavier loads to be hauled by a single locomotive. The total package is likely to cost about £100 million, making this the biggest single investment by Railfreight for many years. Foster Yeoman's experience with the Class 59, a loco of similar specification, has proved the fantastic pulling power of this new breed of loco. New technology controls wheel slip, giving the Class 60s, as the new locos will be called, up to 2.5 times the pulling power of a conventional loco. Speedlink distribution are involved in a whole range of bright ideas to link road and rail transport, with the emphasis on slick, high-speed turnaround. For smaller customers, the mini-link system, which uses the same special container for both the road and rail sections of the journey, is already up and running. MaxiLink is aimed at larger customers and is already undergoing customer trials. And keep an eye open for Trailer Train, a major system currently under development, which involves whole trainloads of road rail freight.
More investment news. A new £23 million train ferry with 4 times the capacity of a standard ship will soon be operating on Railfreight's Dover-Dunkirk link. Each year, Railfreight International carries well over 1 million tonnes of traffic across the Channel. The new ship, which will operate from a new £10 million berth at Dover, has over 600 metres of rail track on its main deck and can carry 50 standard length wagons or 30 bogie wagons. Crossing time will be cut to 2 hours, and the single ship has the capacity to run up to 4 round trips a day.
Right, time for our first special report from Dickie Davies. We asked Dickie, a man who's seen more teams in action than most people, to cast his professional eye over one of Railfreight's teams in the north.
I'm standing trackside at Thornaby, close to the River Tees in Cleveland. A few miles in that direction lies Redcar and British Steel's largest furnace, producing a phenomenal 4 million tonnes of iron each year. That iron is transported to Lackamy and the other mills in this local area for conversion to steel. Each week, Railfreight move 31,000 tonnes to those local areas and throughout the UK. Now, to handle that sort of tonnage efficiently, you really have to be organised, and that's what Railfreight have done. 25 locos are now dedicated to the specific task of hauling iron and steel out of Thornaby. And indeed, the majority of the depot here is also dedicated to that task. How is it working? Well, I've been talking to a man who was closely involved in setting up the operation and is now closely involved in making it work. The maintenance engineer, Phil THICKET.
To make the job work, everybody's got to work together, from the fitting staff who look after the locos, the operating supervisors who move the locos, the shunters who couple the locos together, the drivers who actually drive the trains, and the carriage and wagon staff who look after the wagons.
I get the feeling there's a good deal of team spirit around, am I right?
Well, everybody now discusses problems that they have so that we can iron any problems out, whereas before it used to be a situation of them and us. But now we all know that we've got a job to do, and that's to move steel on Teesside, and everybody sticks together and works together.
Norman, you're a carriage and wagon workshop supervisor. How have things changed here in the workshop since the new operation?
Oh, a tremendous amount. One of the biggest things that we have going on at the moment is the complete interchangeability of the workforce itself. That a man now can weld, burn, rivet, fitting. So this has given us a great change, not only at Thornaby, but hopefully in BR as a whole. The men, obviously, they see this is the future for the industry, that they can see that not doing this is just going to have a backward step, really. This is what they've got to look forward to. The teamwork not only is in the carriage and wagon, but also with the traction side of the job, and also the driving side of it.
And you've got 2 great customers on the doorstep, haven't you? ICI and British Steel.
Well, quite a big part of our work is with British Steel, and this type of vehicle behind you, the 100-ton steel carrying vehicle, a tremendous amount of work that we do for them, yes.
John, you're a British Steel manager. Perhaps you can tell me of some of the benefits accruing to your company from the new method of work here.
They've introduced here a system of dedicated locos, which means that instead of a loco moving off from this part of the world to one of our customers in the south or in the north or in the west or wherever, and then being moved out of our service onto somebody else's service because of a failure of a locomotive in that area. The locomotive is in fact dedicated to our works and returns back to this area ready to take off with another load of steel on the next leg. Our trains are particularly heavy. The result is that we frequently have to use 2 locomotives on a haul instead of just 1. Traditionally, if one of those locos was in difficulty, they would take it off from the pair and put in another one and repair that individual loco separately. Quite frequently, one loco would cause interference with the whole team as the locos were shuffled around the team, as it were, to make up new pairs. So now 2 locos are hooked together and permanently engaged. The service to British Steel is better and the service to the customer is better.
If you have a teamwork success story to tell, no matter how large or small, let us know and we'll try and feature it. A story from work, a charity fundraising event, a successful football team, or even a new social club. Here's the address to write to. The Editor, Railfreight Express, Euston House, Evershot Street, London. That's Railfreight Express, Euston House, Evershot Street, London.
Now it's my pleasure to welcome to the studio, all the way from Scotland, the Marketing and Contracts Manager for Speedlink Coal Scotland, David Spaven. Now David, you're part of the national Speedlink Coal team. Tell us about the team itself.
Well, the team was set up 3 years ago in order to specialise on the domestic coal market in Britain and to make a profitable contribution towards Railfreight's targets. Our team is only 13 people, of whom 5 are at headquarters and the other 8 are out in the regions where our customers are.
You've recently landed a massive contract. Would you say that the domestic coal market is expanding?
No, the problem with the domestic coal market is that it's been static or declining, so what we have to do in rail freight is to attack a market that already exists and to take business off road haulage. And this is what we did very recently with the contract for movement of coalite from Yorkshire up to Scotland.
How did you manage to do that?
Well, myself and my opposite number in Manchester, Jim Izard, went to see this major customer who we knew was very heavily oriented towards road haulage at the moment. We had to find out what his basic requirements were and find out why he was using road as opposed to rail. We had a very useful session with him. We found out that they had problems loading traffic to road and they were looking for a way out of it if we could provide a train service at weekends. At first we thought this was a problem for us, but we went away and had a think about it. We asked our headquarters people, have we got the spare locomotives? Have we got the wagons spare at the weekend that we can use profitably for this business? We then had to speak to the local areas and find out, do we need a new signalman on in this particular signal box? Do we need shunters to come out in the marshalling yards? So we were able to assemble a complete package of service specification and satisfy ourselves that it would be a profitable operation. Then we went back to the customer, gave him an option of a trial operation, and he was attracted by it, and we ran the trial. That went very well. So we moved on to a longer-term traffic agreement, which has been working very well.
David, thank you very much.
And now it's time for Dickie's second report. This time he's much further south.
Yes, I've come way down south to Westbury in the heart of the lovely Wiltshire countryside, and I'm realising a schoolboy ambition because I'm standing virtually on the footplate of a loco. A rather special loco this is because it's one of the revolutionary Class 59s that form an integral part of Westbury's rail freight operation. Now, a special team is located here to handle the daily rail movement of thousands of tons of quarry stone for customers like Foster Yeoman, ARC and Tarmac. And because the team is so close to the customers, I'm told that both enjoy many benefits. Well, the locos look very impressive, Terry. What are they like to drive?
Oh, they're very good locos to drive. They're very modern and very comfortable. It's a very powerful locomotive, and it does all that a driver asks of it.
Yeah, what are the advantages of this kind of loco for this kind of work, then?
Well, it's a loco that has been designed for a purpose. It is purpose-built for these type of trains. The benefits are enormous. We enjoy working on them.
Richard, you're Quarry and Rail Director for Foster Yeoman. What are the benefits to your company since the new setup with rail freight?
Well, as a customer, we've got to move our product, stone, into the marketplace in London. It's very low value product. It's one of the lowest rail freight moves. to compete successfully 100 miles away with quarries which are just 5 miles away, you need to have the most efficient and reliable transportation service you can possibly get. With rail freight, I think we're getting fairly close to that. We move about 4 million tonnes a year, 20,000 tonnes a day out of here efficiently and reliably into that marketplace. So the benefits are we've got a business that's going to be very long-term and sustaining for rail freight.
Now this is the Watley quarry, and this is ARC's establishment. Tell me about this.
Yes, originally this was a very small quarry, but just recently they've spent £12 million on a redevelopment, and we now have 4 lines into the quarry here.
I gather they've blasted outside the quarry so that they actually move these lines into the quarry. They've also built a bridge, haven't they? And the lines have been extended all the way in.
Yes, that's right.
Now, this means that they're eligible for a grant. Tell me about that.
That's a Section 8 grant where the government pays some money towards the redevelopment here in order to take heavy road lorries off the roads, and providing that the traffic goes up by rail.
So the people in the local villages and the environment will be very happy with that?
I should hope so, yes.
From the car park, you can clearly see Westbury's White Horse. It was here Dickie met Julian Bromfield, part of the marketing team handling customers in the area.
Julian, tell me about this marketing operation.
So our function here at Westbury is to liaise very closely with the customers, knowing their market needs, and to ensure that with good contact through the operators on the ground, both at Westbury and at Region, that they get the service they require to get the stone to the marketplace at an economic price.
Is it a partnership between the customers and rail freight that works effectively?
I would say it's an extremely effective contact that we have here between rail freight and the customers, because of the fact that we are located locally and within very close contact of our major customers. They are aware of our involvement. We can see what's going on, and there's a very good feeling of teamwork here.
The rail freight concept has got to be that of bringing all the staff that are involved with freight trains into identifying with those freight trains, and for getting people to realise just how important a stone train or a coal train, doesn't really matter what it is, how important it is to get it back to the customer. Because if you don't get it back to the customer, he won't go again.
Would you say that the partnership between rail freight and Foster Yeoman is blossoming?
I'd say it's a dynamic one.
Dynamic indeed. Thank you, Dickie. Roy.
Well, we've been joined by Richard Phillips, who's the area freight manager for North Thameside. Now, Richard, you've developed an operations liaison team for your oil industry customers. Just why have you done this?
Well, the customer will benefit from having one point of contact, and this is very important. Previously, the customer has had to approach different parts of the organisation, and our response time was not as quick as it should be. With the new approach, the customer will be able to get a response to requests for an additional service in hours rather than days.
But financially, what are the benefits?
The financial benefits are that we can identify our costs much better. We can make the best possible use of our resources, and we can deliver on the bottom line. At the end of the day, it's all about bottom line. Rail freight must make £48 million profit by April 1990, and I know that with teamwork we can achieve it.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the programme, and I hope you've picked up some new facts on rail freight.
We also hope that you've managed to pick up that address for your success stories on the teamwork front. Remember, this is your programme about your business.
So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from us.